I don't know what else to talk about anymore ever. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, what's she got to talk about?" Nothing. Thank you for the people that come through. Thank you for the people on the replay. Appreciate the silent viewers. Please get comfortable enough for some of you guys to join. Um, got a little headache going on, so I don't know. Not feeling the best, but I'm still here. Let me see. Let me see. Why doesn't it show? Oh, there we go. Oh, sorry for clearing my throat, but it sounds. That's why I say I hate when I don't feel. Oh, let me sorry, mute. But I'm sure that sounded very terrible. But I don't have anything in my throat. I don't know why my throat does this. Oh my god. I don't know until I attempt to talk how terrible I sound. Hey, Rainbow Bright. But we're gonna work through it. But then when all this clears up, why does it say more? Oh, howdy. It hit howdy ho. I guess because you said ho. Come on. What was that? The second, the first or second thing somebody typed in they already had? Come on. What is wrong with YouTube? But yeah, I was saying I don't really have a topic again. I just keep showing up and hoping it goes well. Yeah, that's crazy. YouTube just thinks. I know I want to remember when more people jump in that I asked the ball question that we were all curious about to someone. So we have the answers. I know that's early on, and YouTube's going to be like, oh, we really got to watch over this. Hi, Nathaniel, I believe that is. But yeah, if I remember that, I got to tell it when more people come in that were curious about it. Um, that's about the only thing I know I'm going to talk about when we get there. I know we got one more holiday to get through. I don't know why it's kicking my ass so bad, and I know it's hard for you guys to get through. We got one more New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, that type of stuff. More mainly New Year's Eve. I think New Year's Day for everybody always is just like blah. But New Year's Eve, if you don't celebrate or you want to celebrate and stuff like that, I know that gotta be hard. Especially when you go into the New Year's under rough conditions. Go to sleep and pray to Jesus. You pray to Jesus and pray to these nuts while you're at it. Don't tell me what to do. Come on my channel telling me what to do. Make your fucking own. Sleep and pray to Jesus. And like I said, these nuts while you're at it. And that's not making fun of Jesus. That's making fun of you, sounding like you could tell me what to do. So, as I was saying, I forgot before stupid people hop on. Um, I don't know what I'm saying. Let's see who comes in tonight that's familiar. and new people that aren't asses. Yeah. I would say that was a little kid, but then I'm like, well, would a little kid say pray to Jesus and go to bed? That doesn't sound like a little kid. Maybe I should have clicked on it before I blocked them just to see if I could see anything. But I might be talking slow because I don't know what to talk about, you stupid bitch, if you're still listening. So why don't you fucking do a channel and see how you're going to always find things to talk about and stuff like that. That doesn't bother me none. Oh boy. I am curious. I think I could still. Oh no, I would only be able to see. Let me see. Just see something real quick. What? Yeah, so it can't be. It was an adult because they joined 12 years ago. So I'm sure that was an adult. Oh, I wish I would have kept them on. I just thought, oh, kid, I would have. Ooh, I would have let them talk. Next time I gotta look so I could just be cussing a stupid, the really slow ass individual out. That's beyond slow of words. Okay, let me stop. But I should have, if I would have known. I just thought as they were going on, it's like, oh, they're just sounding more and more like a kid because I was going to interact, you know. But then I was like, I should have went with my second thought. No, it's not a kid because they said whatever the Jesus thing. So they literally think. I know their dumbasses are probably still listening to. They literally think they could praise Jesus and then go around talking crap to people, and that's going to be a good combination for you. And that's not how it works. Well, also there are little adults that have a child's mind. This time I made sure I had more water. And still, I won't have to pause and get it. I guess it wasn't meant for me to argue with somebody, but can't believe adults act like that. And then I should have, what's it called? Reported them to see how long their YouTube channel will be able to stay up. Alright, moving on. The New Year's resolution. Yeah, I don't really have one like I need to change something. I'm just asking New Year to give me something, and that's a little less pain, a little less illnesses, you know. Because I know what I would do if I just had that chance. Like, of course, more videos format where you see me doing the things that I usually do, but I can't this way. And just continue on. For me, it's continue on my spiritual journey, always learning something new and um, trying to find confidence in myself that I know what I'm doing enough to tell people, to help people. Because I always hang on the fact that because I can't give people the exact wordings or whatever to maybe a spiritual path I need to go on, I think I have to realize that talking has to be enough. The way that I say things, the way that I express things and let people know, I feel like that I have to get confidence in myself that that is enough, that I don't have to be so technical that I really like learned. Um, why are people breaking up my spiritual talk? That is not you, dog. It is me, bitch. Look on page. What the fuck's wrong with people today? It is not you, dog, and then it's God bless you. What's wrong with you? What? Hmm. I don't need any type of person that looks like you or whatever fucking thing you have up there, just how you feel. Asking the Lord to protect me, as you call me, a being. Protect any woman you decide to fuck. Use a condom because you having babies, it's not going to work in the world. How about that? That was. I'm going back on my spiritual thing. So I was saying, I know I've tried, and I know this is the spirit's testing me like a mofo, but, hopefully some of my mods might come in soon. But, as I was saying, I know a lot of stuff spiritually, even if I don't know, remember the facts that they have in books or whatever. I know I fought enough things. I know I got through enough stuff. So I have to hang on to the fact that how I talk is going to reach the right people. It might not reach the right people like goofy ass that came in or whatever, because I don't know what would reach those people. But the people that I would want to reach, like I said, they say your people will find you and stuff like that. So I have to feel like I'm well spoken enough for that part. Because I will never be on the technical end of it. I will just know from what I lived my whole life. And like I said, that has to be enough. So finding strength in that and power in that, because I feel like once I feel comfortable enough with my words, it could just go up from there. Or custom to do before the new year, like me trying to clean the house and get organized. I don't really have customs. We just used to really just go see the fireworks somewhere big. And anytime I usually, like, I traveled a lot during New Year's and stuff like that. So like if I was with a family, they would always have their customs, and I did the, well, I don't know how much grapes before midnight and stuff like that. Like I did other people's stuff, but as my family and my own, I really didn't have any besides just going to see the fireworks. Um, yeah. So if anybody has any, they could put it out there. My way goes my stomach growling because I want to just um. Anytime I get a little nervous, which I was nervous before. My anxiety was bad before coming on here. I thought it would go down, but now that there's been two stupid people so far that are so with the Lord, they feel like they could go on people's things and be cruel and spread the truth or whatever they say. But yeah, I definitely miss seeing the fireworks. Even though I don't think if I was able to, I wouldn't, because so much stuff happens during fireworks now. So I don't think I would do crowds ever again. Um, Let me see this Instagram. I know Sweetums sent me something about. Let me. Where's my messages? Now I'm going to think about the whole clear my throat right when I started the live. I know that sounds horrible. I seriously don't know what's wrong with my V letter on my laptop, but it just won't press anymore. I hope I don't have to learn to rip it up and figure out what's wrong. Um, during Christmas is shameful. Too many drunk drivers out there on New Year's Eve is dangerous. Yeah, I guess I just miss the gathering with a few people and getting drunk. You know, that type of thing I miss, but not the crowds or anything like that. But I do miss getting dressed up and doing my makeup and hair and all that stuff and going out. But like I said, even here, I miss if I could just be a little bit less, I have a little bit less pain. I would be able to do a little bit just in the house, but right now I'm stuck more than I ever been because my back's not letting me do anything. Okay, let me go back to these messages. So Sweetums watched the movie that I told her to watch. The Stutz movie, I don't know if I said it helps people if they, I mean, this therapist is a good therapist, but I don't think she copied. I don't think she. I'm reading over her stuff now that she sent me. I don't think it covers what um the biggest part of what I was talking about, so the book might not be it. Oh, the one that tool encourages you to confront and accept your shadow. The idea is that by integrating these hidden parts of yourself, you'll become more whole, authentic, and at peace with who you are. But the movie goes into it a little. I mean, whoa, I don't know if it's a documentary or whatever. Goes into that part a little deeper. Shadow represents past yourself that you repressed, rejected, or avoided. Aspects often you don't face. Yeah. I think I forgot that he had a book out. Um, I might just have to get it before I forget it again. But the therapist that wrote a book. Um, but if you don't like reading, the movie's always good. Before it gets off Netflix. But it's called Stutz. I'm more curious about her personal aspect of what she thought about it, though. So hopefully she comes on. The last 2 nights have been dry on here. It's been one person until for like an hour or something. I don't know what everybody's uh doing right now, but And that doesn't mean that I enjoy having the one person. So if I don't mean no, I don't mean no. I don't appreciate the one person that shows up. I'm just saying. Oh, there we go, Sweetums. I was just talking about you. I just went over like the shadow part of the note you sent me. Um, but I was just wondering what you thought about that part where, um, yeah, it's a good thing to watch. What you thought about it where he talked about the shadow and the dark part that people that's the first thing they meet in anger and everything. Doesn't matter who you are. You know what part I'm talking about? You'll probably have more the right words since I haven't watched it in a while. I just remember. Oh, okay, you haven't watched the whole thing. But yeah, the shadow part is I think that's one of the I think out of all that he talks about, that's one of the number one things that should be top of everything that people need to face. Yeah, because I just feel like um sorry, I've been in my feelings the last couple of days, holidays. No, that's fine. I know everybody is. I'm just saying, me as a host, it's kind of hard to try to think of things when everybody's sort of been out of it. I've been out of it too. I still feel out of it. I'm right at squeezing the juice out of the lemon. Okay. But I think for me, it was, like I said, the room book that I read from, it focuses on the shadow aspect too. So mostly in every, I'm sure with every rune, it has that little aspect to it. But, that's what I'm saying. For me, I had to look at people first and had to break them down and strip them down. I had to take every aspect of them away that I gave them, that I looked at them through my eyes, and I just had to look at what they were and what they gave me, you know. And once I stripped them down, I'm like, damn, they're useless as a person, you know. So once I stripped that away, those people away, then it was like, okay, now you have to look at yourself. Why did you accept that? Why did you not change things quicker and stuff like that? Um, I took your advice and actually went out and treated myself today. I went to Sam's Club for after Christmas sale. Oh, yeah. And bought myself some chocolate and some hoodies on clearance. That's so good, Sweetums. That really is a lot, and that warms my heart that you took my advice. Because that's what I'm always preaching. If you're able to, do things for yourself, especially around these times, you deserve it, and you shouldn't strip yourself from it because of, obviously a lot of heaviness that weighs on your heart. But it's like your family members would want you to be taking care of yourself and getting things for yourself. That's why I always try to stress that. Oh, that makes my heart so happy. Oh, you're very welcome. Just thank you for doing it. That's just that makes me feel a little bit special. Anytime you guys just do something like that for yourselves. Warning my heart went to Sam's Club too, but didn't even think of. Oh no, you didn't think of the after Christmas sales, but I'm sure you got some good stuff too. Yeah, they usually have good. Oh wow, the hoodies were $3. Wow, I'm so sure you got some good food. Um, But anyway, yeah. Step one, strip away the people. Step two, look. You have to look at yourself, and you have to look at the darkest parts of yourself, like the darkest parts. What is today? What am I missing something? I'm trying to be nice today, and then you should have heard what read what the two people were doing. Hmm. Oh, I know those are gonna be good. Hmm. I knew that was. Why do you care, Eli? How do you come in somebody's chat asking people what they are? What are you? I don't really care what you are. I just think it's kind of strange to say hi to people and then say, "What are you like? Do you have you been here before?" Oh, Sweetums looks good to you in the lovely picture she has up. They're down for 22 for $5. Oh wow, that's a really good deal. Like I was saying to the other people, Eli, you could subscribe to these nuts, okay? I'm done. You know what? Tonight, I was done. I would try to be nice to the first couple of people, but now I'm done. I will feel sorry for any new person that jumps in the chat today because I can't do it after after a certain amount of people. You're just like, fuck it. I'm not saying anything to anybody. I try. Hey Gina, I don't know. I just think people are obviously overly stupid tonight. Oh no, I'm a hermaphrodite. If that's how it's spelled. Not me. I didn't say that. Rainbow Bright said that. Uh, but I was saying the chocolates. I know those are gonna be good, and that wasn't too bad. The price wasn't too bad. In the documentary, he was saying that you have to visualize the shadow self. Yep, as a person, and visualize the time in your life where you felt inferior, embarrassed, and rejected. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. That if you guys do that, um, that brings out so much. You have to be prepared. The thing that people don't understand is, I don't think a lot of people understand is that healing involves a very painful journey before you start to heal. Like the process to healing is going to be some of the most painful things you have ever faced because you're facing it. You're not running from anything. You're not giving yourself excuses. You're not giving yourself time. You're literally going to sit there and you're going to see this and you're going to feel this. And there's not going to be anybody that can tell you it's okay. None of that shit. None of that shit for the healing part. You want to heal and you want to heal in the right way. I'm sorry, but I always preach that part has to be done alone. For you to really integrate all the tools you need because it's not working with the people doing it for helping you because it would be you would be healed, wouldn't you? It's because you need to face it head on. And like I said, know that the painful stuff comes first. You're going to feel that great pain, but you work through it, you do what you need to do, and that starts to lessen. And that doesn't mean it's going to be the first time you do it or the second time. It just means eventually it will lessen. And then you'll get big, things won't hurt as much and all that stuff, and you stop taking all the shit that you're used to taking. Like, it just takes time. But just know, healing, you're not, if people are going around and they say, let's talk about death of a loved one or something like that. They're like, oh, I lost my mom did, whatever, at this time. And a year later, they seem fine. You know why they seem fine a year later? Because they didn't process shit. And they didn't heal from shit. Okay? If you want to do real healing, it starts with that. And like I said, real healing starts with intense pain. I'm sick of people teaching it wrong. I'm sick of people being maybe scared to tell the truth because they feel like, well, maybe people won't be able to handle it. You're handling it anyway, and you're living a longer time in intense pain because you're not facing it. Uh, he says it's a part of you that you wish you were not. Exactly. But you are, yeah, and you can't get rid of it. It's there. That's you. The same way the nice, parts that you might enjoy of yourself are there, so are the darkest that you don't want around. They're still there. They still act on things in your life. They still make decisions. They're still there. He said you have to talk to your shadow and ask it how it feels about you and how you treated it, and you listen to the answers. Exactly. I did, like I said, I was doing that before, I saw this, but when he was saying this stuff, I was like, this is what every therapist needs to teach. They need to stop with the whole, um, just so much stuff that they need to get real. I heard about the grieving pain. The pain is the worst. I never knew it was physical. Yeah, it's everything. 5 stages of grieving. That's what I got from you reading my room the other night. That's why I'll never do it. I'll never read tarot or runes in a way where the most people try to do it, because they do try to say, well, you might have something, but then it's gonna be fine. And it's like, it is gonna be fine or okay, but there's gonna be work to do. And I don't feel like people. I think people leave out the middle part, that what it takes to get there and stuff. How you have to deal with loss and the intensity of it. Yeah, like, it's horrible. But once you do, because people, like I said, people have been asking, how am I going to heal? Why haven't I healed yet? Stuff like that. And I realize the stages of grieving don't go in order, and you can keep revisiting it, the same stage, multiple times. Yep. Even Apple Watches can pick up a heartbeat. But yeah, it's. I think, like I said, nobody talks about. They're just like, just picture yourself at the table, and you're sitting at the table, and then across from you is your dark spot, your shadow, if you want to call it the bad side or whatever. You literally have to talk to it, and because that's the first thing that comes to you, no matter what, no matter how much you think you're doing good and stuff, that's still going to be there. So instead of talking to people, talk to it, figure it out, you know, because it is always going to be there. Yeah, it's definitely. I always thought it would be a linear path, and it's so not. Yeah, But you will, like I said, you will get there where the pain never goes away. It just gets easier. And the thing is, it doesn't. I wouldn't say it gets easier to hide because then you're sort of not working what you want to be working. I think that everyday tasks, what you have to do to live from now on, those parts get easier. Then, so it's not like the. I think the pain sort of never lifts from losing a loved one, but I do think facing it and everything makes your daily tasks easier to complete. You know, if you understand what I mean. So you don't have to hide anything. If somebody's asking you to hide what you feel from loss, those people shouldn't be around, and don't hide it from yourself. That's what it's working on the not hiding part. It's actually feeling okay with how you feel about loss and everything else that you feel negative about. I had to, like I said, I had to learn to love my depression. I had to learn to love my anxiety. I had to learn all these things that I always would wish I could like kill in a sense, They weren't going anywhere. I had to learn to love, like I said, the number one thing out of all the things was the loneliness. I had to learn to be okay with the quiet, with not talking in days, with all that stuff. If I didn't learn that, I wouldn't have survived. My allergies are acting up. Oh no. Mine are, like I said, the sinus thing is just too real. Hopefully it goes away. He also said that if you don't pay attention to your shadow self, it will make you do things in your life that are destructive. Yeah, that falls on the self-destruction thing. Sweet anxiety too. I still go through the denial anger, still asking myself why, and the depression's bad. I've never been. Yeah, that's. I just would say let it in like short waves as far as the grief goes. But when you start feeling the pain, don't stop the pain. Keep as long as you sort of know that you're gonna be okay, where you're not, where you don't go into like self-destructive thoughts. You'll know your limit, sort of, when you start doing this. It's like you're taking a little bit of pain out of the jar and pouring it into a glass, a little tiny bit. Maybe it's a shot size. And you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, I feel this. I feel that. It's okay to feel this way. It's been this long. I still feel this way. It's okay. You're fine with doing that. Nobody else has to face how you feel about someone passing away than yourself. Nobody else has to face that. So be okay with how you feel in the moment. And then let yourself feel that intensity. And actually be okay with that intensity. Be okay with every feeling that comes along with that intensity. Write it down if you have to. Write it down as you have to, and then let it go without judgment. Don't judge yourself. Don't, and then, that could be enough for the day. And then, like plan out when you feel like doing it again. And you keep on doing that, and you keep on being okay with it. You're going to feel some relief, and it's not going to be planned relief. It's not like you have there's a time frame, but eventually some of the sadness lifts. Doesn't mean that you won't stop missing them as much and all that other stuff, but some things do lift. Um, with my mom, initially I was still being physically active and normal, but as the months go by, I've been more lethargic and worse. And that's the biggest thing I try to preach to everybody too, was I had my downtime, but I always had to say, shit, I gotta get up, I gotta do things. And as long as I preach to never stop doing things. If you are able, if your body is able to do it, I swear you got to push to keep on doing those things. Because eventually your body's going to say, okay, you don't want to move, then you're not going to move. You know, depression does that to a lot of people. So that's why I always stress to, if there's not chronic illness at play and stuff like that, to keep on pushing, to keep on getting outside. You know, it doesn't have to be for long, but do it. You know, just do it. Um, I feel the pain, just not the same intensity. Are we all orphans here? Yeah, I believe so. Have you considered therapy and antidepressant? A lot of people aren't going to want to go that route. A lot of people don't go that route. That's why I said it's sort of good to maybe find something that could help without. People could do good. They might find a good therapist, but a lot of therapists could do what you read on grief online is what you're going to get from therapy. Uh, that's what scares me the most. Yeah, the lack of motivation. Wait, is that what I saw? Yeah. Yeah, if like I said, if you have the ability, you gotta move. You gotta keep moving, even if it's just one time a week. You know, try to keep moving. That's what's been making me feel guilty. As I'm able-bodied and choose to bed rot, but it's not, and you're here pushing and fighting with me. Yeah, but I don't think it's something that your mind needs right now. I'm just saying, you pushed yourself out. You got out today. That was a huge thing, you know. Give yourself that, and I hope to keep on being able to get people out there, you know, and just know that you've been through a lot, and your mind and body needs to rest. I'm just saying, don't let it rest as much as it wants to, but don't feel guilty when you're doing it either. Just still have that push if possible, and take away the guilt though. Take away the guilt when you're resting. It's a complicated thing, but I'm telling you, if you work these steps, you're gonna get better and you'll be better. Gina said maybe this is the one adult orphan group I was looking for. Yeah, it sort of turned into that, huh? I was out in the streets and now I'm a hermit. But you still get out sometimes, though. The documentary has some good insights. Yeah, it really does. Why do you think you became a hermit? Yeah, I don't like for me. I know that was directed towards Gina, so she can answer. But for me, I like I said, I've always dealt with the mental illness part of life and the physical illness part of life. But because my parents never addressed that with me, I just thought, oh, I was in pain and I was just a wimp and stuff. And it was like, it was so many more things that it was chronically. So for me, I just ended up, you know, staying in the house because of pain and stuff like that, and anxiety, because I have agoraphobia. So it's like, it was even like going to the mailbox and stuff. It was just way too much, and people don't understand that. It's actually so weird that we all found one another in this last YouTube world. Yeah, that's true. That's why I said I don't need my numbers big. I just need enough for when we could hold a conversation. It could be like, a few people talking or whatever, so I could keep it going. Uh, and as long as I have that and we keep on talking, I usually can keep it going. But if it's gonna be like I gotta write notes before every live and stuff like that, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna. This isn't gonna be fun. Um, so yeah, it's a caregiver thing, and like I said, I was a caregiver for so many years until uh until like the last person was my dad passing. And then like I said, from there everything started sort of collapsing with my health to a certain extent. Um but that's why I said I believe as long as you're going out once in a while, eventually of course you're not gonna do probably as much as you did before, but you'll still learn to just get out a few more times. Yeah. I've probably become a hermit these past few years due to the loss of my parents and medical issues. That's what like I said for me, I slowly but for me I also a big part for me that I had to keep on going out and everything for is I was a parent during all these times, so I couldn't completely go within myself. I mean, I could have, there's a lot of people that do, but I had to, I had to still have a teenager in the house and her going through high school. And so I still was like, she didn't know all that I was going through and stuff. So I think the big push for me is that I did have to do all that stuff. And then, uh, when it was all, like when she moved out and all that stuff, I did have the time period where I thought I would be like, oh, I'm so sad and stuff. But it was like eye opening to me where I'm like, oh, I really like the freedom of being alone and everything, but I still would have to go out to my appointments that were all the time. Like I had appointments 2, 3 times a week. I still had to grocery shop for myself outside. So I still had to do my things. And then, but those were the only things I did. I didn't do anything extra on those. I didn't go out with anybody. I tried to. I did compare groups where they would give you a friend. You're supposed to match up with a friend, and the friend was supposed to be normal. And you go to the movies and dinner and stuff like that. But any compare friend I made was crazy, and they were supposed to be balanced in their mental health, and they weren't. So instead of them helping me, I was helping them, and I'm like, I don't need another person to help. That's not a friend. So I really, really tried my best to try to get out there and try not to stop my life. And then, like I said, whatever this illness was dun, 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 it hit me, and I was down for the count. There was no matter if I had the will, there was no motherfucking way, and that's why I hate. Um, I like being alone, but I'm lonely for my family. Yeah, so that's why I just say you don't have to feel guilty for being a hermit or like you say bedridden and stuff, because a certain part of your mind needs that. I just say push yourself to at least try to do something once a week, even if it's for an hour outside the house. Must be so frustrating to not even know what you have. Yeah, it's horrible. Because, like I said, I know the chronic illnesses I do have are bad enough, so the thing that just literally knocked my legs out from under me, I have no idea. So that's the frustrating part for me where a lot of my life has stopped because of that. And even that I can't even do videos showing myself because I can't freaking sit up or for my back. If I sit up like I sat up yesterday thinking this should help my back. No, no, I really can't move. So I don't know what my damn back's doing. Feeling lonely is brutal. Yeah. Yeah, that's why on anniversaries and holidays, a lot of my mind, because I lost, more people than my parents or whatever, and of course some you guys have too. Um, some days I'll feel horrible and not even know why. Then I'll look at the end of the day and it was the anniversary date. Because I don't forget birthdays, but anniversary dates are hard. So I think my mind buries them. So it's like I'll still go through the motions and then I'll be like, oh, that date's almost here or it's that day. And so we still feel it whether we know it's coming or not. I just think we have to be okay with feeling it. And if people around you think that it's not okay to feel that way, then they don't need to share the day with you. Um, Thank you, Rainbow Bright. I hope it gets better too before I have to go in and see a damn doctor about it. Thinking that I found you guys, I have no one to discuss any of this with. Yeah, I'm glad you could. I'm glad I started this at night, and I'm glad you guys feel good talking about it. It helps me too. Like I said, even the other night when I started talking about my sister a little bit, which is hard for me to talk about, you know, the way she died, how she died, stuff like that, because when you talk about like drug use in a way, everybody's like, oh, somebody's just this. And it's like, no, she was not just that. And the struggles that she had before, she chose to start using again was this what I'm dealing with. And so it was sort of hard because I felt like I was keeping things all to myself when that's not healthy either. And I think a lot of my family thought her loss was just a OD, and it's like you don't know what she was facing the last 2 3 years of her life. They have no clue. I remember when I got the I got the call that she was that she had OD'd and they had her hooked up to machines and stuff. It's like I knew she was gone. But when I heard it, I had to I heard it I think at like 4 something early in the morning. And of course whoever I need to call, I call. I remember calling and leaving my brother. I tried calling him and then I left him a text message, and I said, our sister's in the hospital. Basically, machines are just keeping her alive. And I would think your brother would wake up, and see the text and call you right back. But I got a, okay, thank you for letting me know. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, I didn't just tell you a present came in the mail for you. Check your mailbox. I told you our sister literally is probably dead. And you say, okay, thank you. You don't even think you have to call me back. For even if you didn't give a shit about her to a certain extent, for my well being, nobody thinks about that. I think those are the parts that hurt more. Believe it or not. My worst days are New Year's Eve, April Fool's Day, and the day my mom coded. She passed 3 days later. But the day she coded is rough for me, yeah. If they weren't in her shoes, they have no rights to judge. Exactly. You're talking about, for me, I live with my daughter, but like I said, I'm very secluded in my room. I don't, you know, she'll come in sometimes throughout the day for a few minutes, but for the majority of the time, I'm by myself. So even though we live in the same house, I'm still in my room by myself. Um, so of course we had little bits of times where we would cry together and stuff, but it's like she still went to work like a normal person. Um, so in the grief thick of it, yeah, I would say I don't, and we had like a little tiny service with just me and my daughter and my sister. The bigger one was had with all the phony people. So, yeah, it was not very many people. And like I said, the grieving part was mainly me by myself. But I wasn't physically there when it happened. She was in a different city. Thank you, Rainbow Bright. Same to you. Yeah, I can't even stand when I hear codes on TV and stuff after my dad. Because, like I said, he coded so many times. And the last one was when I just was like, knowing I had to sit in the room and hear the code, the final code. Um, yeah, so I can't even hear. When I hear it on TV, sometimes I find myself spaced out, and then I'll be like, oh, what the heck? I missed the whole series or something that was playing. And then I figure out why. But yeah, that's just a sound I don't want to hear for ever again in real life. I wish I could get some tea. I bought chai tea, and I had my sister make me a cup yesterday, was it? Or the day before? Oh, yesterday, because. But anyway, I got chai tea with the Tazo brand. I don't know how you pronounce it. Tazo. It's like organic chai tea. And then, I don't know if I talked about this, but then, hey Cherry, I was just about to talk about the tea you made me. That I wish I had some now to clear up this dry nose stuffiness. But I was saying the creamer was a Dunkin' Donuts creamer. I'm gonna be mad that I'm talking like this now because of my nose. But and it was already had the sugar in it, so we could skip the sugar part, and it was good. Yeah, so I wish I could go make some, but I can't. It sucks I can't even make myself a damn cup of tea because I'm in so much pain. But yeah, eliminate sugar. If you guys don't want to take that step, you can just get the uh, sweetened what the hell is it called? Sweetened creamer. And you don't gotta add sugar. I love it. The only thing is you gotta make your tea a little bit hotter if you're using cold creamer. Usually I use the powder creamer. But since they were setting that on fire and everything, I'm like, well, let me use Liquicline this time. Here we go again, I think. I'm going to push mute for a second, you guys. Be right back. I'm back. Did it change anything? No. Gina, did you say ill to my suffering over here? It is nothing. It's all dried. Nothing's coming up. It just feels like there would be something there, but there is not. So, like I've been telling all these trolls that have been coming in, was saying stuff, ill these nuts to you, Gina. Unless I got that wrong, but I think I didn't. Um, but anyway, as I was saying, the tea was nice, and I wish I had another cup. You should appreciate the fact that I'm coming on here sounding like this. Hey, you got the nerve to say something ill. Was the ill because it was because I coughed or something, I think. Or maybe it sounded like I was trying to clear my voice. There's nothing to clear. Even when I push mute, all I am is blowing air out my nose just to see if it will clear some. There's nothing there. It just sounds like it. Oh, I was about to tell you off, Gina. I'm like, I'm here all these nights. Yeah, I'm like, well, I did tell you. I'm okay. I gotta take all that back because I thought you said ill, because I know you said you don't like the throw. Didn't you say you don't like the throwing up sound or something? So I was like, oh, does she not like that sound too? I was like, okay, I'll take it back. I'm sorry, Gina. I know how to apologize when I did something wrong. So I'm sorry. You going off on me for no reason. Well, it was a random ill. You can't blame me. But like I said, I could apologize when I did something. I was gonna say to Gina. See, everybody was like, "What are you talking about, Gina?" She don't like people vibrating their throat to clear. I'm saying to already to Eminem. I'm so annoyed with this fucking dry ass sinus stuff. Like, when the hell's it gonna go away? I already don't like my voice as it is, and then when I hear this in the things, I just want to take them down. But yeah, I see what you mean now. You missed the lovely trolls that were grown people that came in here. It's horrible. What? How I sound? I can't help it. Should I get off here? Damn. Should I just leave? What? One start off with you need to go to sleep and bless in Jesus something and pray, what did they say, and pray to Jesus or something, and then they were like I don't know, they were just being like kiddish, so I was like, oh, this gotta be a kid, because first I was telling them off, but then I was like, oh no, this is a kid, I'm gonna block them. But then after I blocked them, I saw that they had their account for like 12 years or something. So I was like, oh, this ain't no damn kid. I should have told them off longer. And then somebody, oh, they were saying, your voice is slow, blah, 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 all this crap. When I was just basically a whole bunch of crap that was getting on my nerves. She sounds like someone is pinching her nose. It does. And that's why I said it's frustrating because nothing's there. I can't blow anything out to clear it. I just got to deal with it. What? And then Sweetums says, I think you sound the same. I don't even hear a difference. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, both of them were. I know I keep on forgetting to ask her for that humidifier. I really thought it was over until I started talking tonight. Well, you hate my voice because I sound nasal 24/7. But people that sound nasal are different because they sound nasal all the time. If I don't sound nasal all the time, it's going to be way more, it's going to be annoying. You get used to people that are nasal sounding nasal. But yeah, they were just talking about Jesus this and that or whatever. But then one came in with a straight up, oh, said that the picture can't be me, and then tried to change it. Oh wait, now you hear the nasal. I'm getting off of here, you guys. You guys will find a different place to chat because I don't know what to do. I've been drinking this water hoping it would clear out, but it's not. It doesn't sound bad. I have a question for you. Go ahead, Gina. Gargling sailing? I don't know. I was wondering if the ball question last night was or a test to see if you would. Oh no, you don't remember when we were talking about the balls in the chat the other day, and Jessie said she would ask Cobalt, but I don't think she ever got around to it. Um, so I just was no. So that's what I was gonna say. Even at the beginning of the live, I was telling Rainbow Bright that I was like, "Dang, I gotta tell you guys the answer to the question." But I had to wait till more people were on it. Yes, I asked the question, Williams. So first, I asked just in general. I asked if how sitting down goes. Like, what do they do when they sit down? So basically, they have to put their balls to the right or the left if they're sitting down, just to make sure they don't smush them. Then when they're riding a bicycle, they have to well, this person has to push their balls in the front and then sit. So we learned something about anatomy. That's the only way I'm going to learn anatomy like that. If I could ask somebody not reading in a book, it won't stick with me. But yeah, no, I don't ever want to do things. I don't do things in that way where I think, oh, let me get blocked. What the heck? No. My mom's like, with the package is called Kargata? Kargata? I don't know. She had our boo boo talking about his like he what's it called? He lightened up at that question, Before that you could tell there was heaviness on his mind. And that question got him talking. So and like I said, I asked politely first if I could ask something about his balls. If he would have said no, I would have said okay, and that would have been it. But he said yes, so I asked. Oh, I pronounced it right. Yeah, I had to ask. Well, who else am I supposed to ask about their balls? It's not like I know a lot of males. Yeah, last night. And it was like, what, 3 or 4 in the morning here or something. And I knew he was going to take down the lava. I probably wouldn't have asked it. These nuts, they blocked, they hid that. Yeah, but Google, I'm telling you, Google is not reading something. It's not the same sometimes. I have to hear stuff like that from, like, a person. He didn't care. He liked it. I mean, like I said, he didn't mind. He just was laughing at it. Just like I would probably laugh if somebody asked me something, that wasn't too intense about womanly parts or whatever. And like I said, I wouldn't, if as long as, like, if he asked me something back, I would have answered. If somebody else asked me something back, it's like, I didn't ask you nothing. I asked them. So we could have had an exchange if we needed to know anything. Yeah, but, yeah. I thought it was funny. I was cracking up. Because first he thought I meant the toilet. And I'm like, no, I wasn't even talking about the toilet. That was a little too much. I don't think I wanted to hear about the toilet aspect. I was like, the chair and the bicycle. The chair and the bicycle. Oh, were you in the bushes, Sweetums, last night? Gina, you were in the bushes until I told you about it. Because unless you just didn't say hi to me, because I didn't even know you were in there. Hello, ladies and sparkers. Am I super late? No, it's only been an hour and 10 minutes. Hey, Desi. I fell asleep with the phone in my hand. Oh. Yeah, I didn't even know Gina was there. And then she heard the question. And then suddenly it's like, oh, hi, mental makeup. Desi, we're talking about the ball conversation we had last night. But see, I wasn't the only inquiring mind wanting to know. Oh, you're drifting on and off. Yeah, I was gonna say, how are your heavy burning eyelids? Because your butt was still up late. But no, I would never say anything in like a trollish manner or whatever. I don't think I have that in me. Yeah, the balls. Because we were just wondering about the chair and the bicycle seat. So I just updated them on what he told me. Yeah, you did. You did. You didn't think I was gonna ask? Like I said, I was gonna ask somebody. You thought I was gonna ask somebody like who in my personal life? I saw you all in there after this live, and I was like, oh, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't go in until because I usually eat a little snack and take my medicine. I thought I was gonna fall asleep, but I did not fall asleep. So I'm like, oh, let me go and see if somebody's live, and he was still live. I think I didn't go in until like 45 minutes after I ended mine because I could not fall asleep. But yeah, I don't think I would have just asked that if I'd known he had to keep the live up because I think that would have been, even if he would have laughed and stuff, I don't think that would have been appropriate. But because I knew he was taking it down because there was music playing, that's why I asked. So none of you guys would have asked that question. Am I really more bold than I think I am? Because I didn't think that was too bad. Oh, you were in there during the Sister Act songs. Um, Coco slept through the night, no, with no accidents. I, on the other hand, was still waking up because I was hearing her barking. She wasn't. Oh yeah, that's how it goes. When they're done, hopefully she's done being sick though. I would never ask, really. I would be a bowl of awkward for life. I think I would have probably felt awkward if he would have been like, "What?" Like, why would you ask me that? Or how dare you ask me that? How that other person in the live acted like it was the other male, whoever the fuck they were, acted like it was a big deal. It's like I didn't ask you, bitch. That's what I felt like saying. But that would have been awkward. But I just thought, he was pretty chill in the first place. So, like, he even took out a mushroom crystal to show us how there would be turtle and no turtle. I think he was pretty chill with me asking the question. Yeah, that's what I said. I sort of felt the room before I asked the question. But yeah, the one person was like, that's like the one person that they said, I think they were male. They were like, that's like if a man asked a woman, uh, where her D cheese would be, and I'm like, D cheese on a woman? What are you talking about? Like, then everybody chimed in after that, because so then Jeremy thought I was talking about where's D cheese on a man, and I wasn't. I was saying, how does this other person in the chat say that's the same, like that question equals me asking about balls sitting down? Oh, so you got some sleep, huh? But it's different living in the patriarchy. I don't understand that. Ooh, um, now you have me googling really what the heck. Oh, yeah. I guess that I wouldn't know that word because kiss my ass on so many levels with that. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. I don't feel that, Sweetums. I'm glad I don't. I don't know. We're living in a male-dominated society. It's different if women ask a man something like that because they rule the world. They don't rule shit. They think they do. I know they're in positions where they're viewed highly and stuff like that, but believe me, if you break it down and stuff, it's unfortunate that there can't be women in positions where there need to be women for the whole faking, like the president or whatever, because there hasn't been a woman president. The president doesn't rule shit. It's unfortunately a group of people that dominate everything, the 1% and stuff like that. I think that's not just male dominated. I think it's men and women. So what they present to us is that males rule stuff, but in all reality, they fucking don't. And if who the hell's birthing the males? Shoot, don't get me started. Don't get me started. um. Well, you have alpha energy, and we know what energy I have. Yeah. I can't believe, though. I know. I just wish you would. Oh my gosh. I know. I know how it is. That's why I said I didn't understand that. It's like, let me look up. Then when I Google it, I'm like, fuck that. It is everywhere. if you believe the system is like, the system presents itself in truth, I guess it's everywhere. But if you really go behind what's running the system and stuff like that, it's different. Yeah, we probably would, Gina. But what do you believe when it comes to that, you guys, about the patriarchy? You believe that males rule, basically? I know Sweetums does. What about you guys? The males that so-called rules had. I think they use males in those positions also because they're the most cocky. No pun intended. If Gina and Emma will be talking over each other, I'll be raising my hand asking if I could butt in. It wouldn't last long though, talking over. There's not. Like I said, I don't care what Gina says. I still haven't lost in the talking shit category. So you're gonna shine at night like a bat signal. But yeah, nobody else is gonna chime in on the patriarchy with how Sweetums thinks the males rule. Oh my gosh, Gina, you believe in it? Oh, you let me down. How do you? There's so much false shit to how stuff is run and stuff. So you guys literally think there's one man in the position they're in making these decisions with the government and stuff. So you guys are giving men way too much power. All the billionaires and tech bros for a reason. Mm-mm. Yeah, but if women thought like they didn't were in control, if women didn't believe they were in control, they wouldn't be able to prey on women and children. You know what I mean? You want to be able to prey on something that you're preying on things that you think are in control. You take the control back when you just all it is a belief. It's a belief in that. It's not a fact. If more women were more strong-minded, believe me, there would be way more control. I will never shut up when. Oh hell no, Gina! Don't even. We're not even gonna get into it. It's not ready for female leadership. It's not. It's not. The male isn't leading the fucking country. They're just the face of it. Not me, Gina. I'm like you'll think 1 plus 1 He goes, 5. Well, you'll be right. All I know is Gina will be. Well, there's no way. Like I said, then nobody would be having conversations because I don't back down. That's all I gotta say. Everybody will be in the room feeling very uncomfortable. Mm. I think my comment is being held. It sent me a notification pop up. What did it send you? It said yours was held? Oh, did you clear it, Gina? If we all collectively stood 10 toes down, Med would know they ain't shit. Exactly. You give them the power because you believe there's something, not because they show that there's something. You give them that power. They're not shit. Um, Gina, remember if that was you that cleared it, or whoever cleared it. Remember if you clear a comment, please tell me so I could go back on my phone and read it because it doesn't show me on the computer that a comment was held. Uh, the men are dirty and think women are beneath them. Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. Don't give your power away. But they're physically more powerful too. So, I don't know. I feel bad that you feel, you know, and like I said, I don't know how it is to be small, and a woman. I don't know that. I just know I feel like no matter how small you know, no matter what your size you are, a lot of things are mind over matter when it comes to authority as a whole and control. I don't think it's a physical thing. Of course, sometimes it's going to be physical things. Yeah, if you're on the streets and all the other stuff. But if there are more women that didn't feel intimidated by a man, it's only that's how they get their power. Um, to me, they're big and commanding and scary. I've seen the smallest woman be able to command the shit out of a man. That's why I say I think it's more mind over matter. Like if we are walking down the street and a man is in your way, do you move or wait for him to move? Well, that's a safety issue because you're walking on the street. You're crossing the street, but when it comes to people, the higher up positions, you're not going to have to cross the street. You're not going to ever see them. You're just sort of giving them power and letting them control when, in all reality, if more women were stronger, they wouldn't even be in the positions they're in. Mentally men are, that's, I'm not trying to say all this, but mentally men are small emotionally, they're small, and physically they only as strong as we let them be. That's a big thing too. Um, I don't talk too much about when I was like in a physically abusive relationship. And for me, it was I let somebody, you know, hurt me. If I were to go toe to toe, it would have been different. It's just because it was like, oh, I love you. I don't want to hurt you. Now, I don't care what physical condition I am. I mean, somebody's going to be missing an eyeball. some teeth, some nuts. I don't give a fuck. You're gonna go for whatever you're gonna go for. Um, so it's like I let myself be abused because I loved them, not because I was like scared. Like I didn't think. You know, you get scared that somebody might do something with a weapon or something like that, but physically, hand to hand, bitch, please. Even if I would have got beat up, I would have still tried. If I had the mind I do now, but when I didn't have the mind, um, it was different for me. Emotionally, they're stunned. I get that. Yeah, that's a big part, though. That's a huge part. I should clarify that I mean most. Yeah, not all. Um, I follow my gut and I have to cross the street. Yeah, and that walk past. Yeah, it's different situations. Gina, if a big man walking in your direction, do you move aside or do you walk for him? Wait for him to move aside. Yeah, you're listening. You are listening to your gut, but what I'm that's a whole different thing. When the street thing is a whole different thing than a man being in a position of power all everywhere else that you guys were talking about. We're talking about one on one in the street. These days, especially, people are crazy no matter what size they are. I would cross the street if I can, no matter who they are, no matter what fucking size they come in. I learned from young age in childhood how to protect myself because nobody else did. And when I tell you I've dropped men 3 times my size, that's why I said most men use their size as gender to intimidate. Um, yeah, like I had to learn way past that time. I didn't learn until I was out of the relationship. I didn't learn. I was trapped for a long time. And then once I got out, I was like, I will never let anybody make me feel that way again. And that's how things changed, and that's how I got clear. Like men are bitches, most of them. There's some good ones out there and stuff, but the ones that are want to intimidate and hurt and whatever, you gotta think about their bitches. True, yeah. Just walking down the street. So would you move aside? And if he was walking, I would move. The day and age now, I would move because there's too much stuff somebody could do to you. So, but back in the day was different. That's what I was saying. Nowadays, you never know if they have a weapon, so it's always be aware of your surroundings. Just don't walk around like She-Hulk. Just act, and yeah, you really have. That's the main thing. The main things about the street is there's some punks out there, right? So no matter what you do, you might end up jacked up. But street people, true street people, if you have a certain respect, a certain look on your face, they're not gonna fuck with you. You're not gonna fuck with them. That's how I got through all my shit. You don't go around thinking you know it all. You don't go around, you literally have a certain face on, which is pretty much the face I have on here. You pretty much have that face on, you're not gonna get fucked with because most people, as long as you're respecting their area, they don't really want to fuck with you, and you don't want to fuck with them. It's a mutual respect, and that's how you get through the hardest things. I'll always move aside. I'm not about to bump into someone. Yeah, because we both refuse to move. I got places to go. I've been. That's what I'm saying. That's the fight you don't want to face. But we were talking about the men up higher and stuff, not the streets, um, but the fact that we're moving in a way doesn't that support the fact? No, because even if it was a woman, I would move Man or woman, you're not getting close enough to either stab me or do other things to me. So it would be a man or a woman. You can't trust anybody. People are so insane these days. Um, Sweden was through every kind of abuse you could and imagine. The strength you get from trying to survive is unmatched. Yeah. I'm sorry you had to live through that, but I'm glad it made you stronger and didn't reflect. But yeah, everybody needs to learn act like the streets. The streets are, like I said, if you're not a punk, you're literally respecting just the way people are. What about the hallway then? What could you do in the hallway but walk way? I would walk the way I'm walking and have the face that I have on. That's all I could do. Sometimes, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. You have to have a feel. You do have to read, like when you're, whatever you're doing, you're going to have to read the person, you're going to have to see, because you know you have to pass them. It's like you have to feel your gut, where either you are sort of slightly putting your head down, but sort of still watching their move. But there's some people that you have to look directly in the fucking eye. It all varies. But like I said, this varies. This is man or woman. I'm not. I think about that every time a man or woman passes me, not just a man. This is just people. If we have to cross in a personal space, then I have to evaluate, hey, is this person better off if I'm looking like I'm minding my own business with my head slightly down, but I still know what's going on? Or does this person need me to look them directly in the eye because they have to know I'm ready for something if they're trying to fuck with me? Like that's why I said it's sort of like the streets. You use it anywhere. I got my pepper spray because of you. I also got a tiny knife, but I never it never closes properly. Well, that's not good. You're gonna wind up hurting yourself with that. Putting it somewhere. Um, yeah, I think I know the world is dominated off of men and all that stuff, but when you break it down, women give men a lot of power that they really don't have. And if that stops, then you would see the turn, you know? I returned the knife and got a taser instead. um, so that's like when, I hear in my head, like, man up, you always gotta man up, and that's just how I've been. And before that, I've always been that way. It was just that one stupid thing because I saw it in my childhood like it was normal. I thought it was normal, a normal thing to get, beat and stuff because it's what I saw. So once I knew that wasn't normal and I got out of that, I will, like I said, if someone ever tried to take a swing at me or whatever, they're going to be hit with something. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to think twice. You got your little cat ear weapon? What's that? Cat ear weapon? What's some yeah yeah yeah? I wish tasers were legal here. I know that's not right to not have a taser of all things. Not have it legal. Honestly, I only avoid all the bullshit when I'm with my kids, but I'm guilty of playing bumper people. Oh no, when I'm not because I'm stubborn as fuck. But it's never really been men. It's always that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not. It's either both or like that's why I said I feel bad that Sweetums is so scared of men because it's like it shouldn't be. It's both. It's just keeping your safety as a whole and not giving them that fucking power. I had to learn to calm down because of my kid. um, a lot of stuff when she was growing up and stuff, where I would have just been that hardcore way, you know. So I did soften a lot, but you're still not gonna. You're you like you're not gonna do it. Even when I was talking about my grandbaby with him puffing out his chest and yelling, like, no, you're not gonna. It's not gonna happen. Um, yeah, they're legal. Hey, Winter Moon, welcome in. They're illegal here. Everything's illegal here. You can't get anything. Because one of my brothers are as a cop, and he's like, you could carry a stick around. I'm like, you carry a damn stick around. They need to change it. I think even those pointy metal things that you can put on your keychain, those are even illegal here. Winter Moon says she's afraid of everything and everyone and everything. I'm the worst. Yeah, I have no idea if it's illegal, but they shipped it to me. Well, that's good. Like I said, I can't buy all the fancy knives that used to be on Amazon. They won't ship to me anymore. I think a lot of places they're legal, just not some. Oh, the stabby cat keychain is, yeah, that's illegal. That's why some of my brother was like, well, you could have a stick because everything else is illegal. Because I was like, damn, could we turn the stick into a steak, so you could at least stab a bitch with a stick? And he was like, that would still be considered illegal. Oh, brass knuckles are definitely illegal. The brass knuckles are illegal in a whole, but I don't know if they're legal anywhere. Your mom used to carry around old school mace. Oh, what hit? Oh, Winter Moon's one. Have you been eating, Winter Moon? Did I miss another one? How's that hidden? What the heck? I have pepper spray for my left hand and a taser for my right hand. I neither have other hand for the stabby keychain. What? There was something besides the say thanks for asking, Sweetums, which is ridiculous for hiding. My gosh. So they want us to all be unprotected, huh? No safety for us. Yeah. We have to carry a brick and say we grabbed it from the ground. Exactly. Yeah, I just was carrying this brick to bring to my garden. Just in, like, they just hide because Wintermoon said thank you to you. They hid it. She said thanks for asking, Sweetums. That was hidden. Just at least try to make sure you're eating and stuff, Wintermoon. And drinking enough water. The patriarchy is stopping us from buying weapons. That's real. Yeah, all that stuff's illegal, but yet people in most states you could buy a gun and carry it. You just can't buy the less lethal stuff. They always have one person in every chat that they decide to hide comments on for some reason. Oh, okay, so you've still been eating. Yeah, take your time. You know we're here for you if you want to talk about it. But yeah, I hope for you guys one day, the ones that are scared and of men, to just not be scared. Because they're tough and everything because just of what somebody thinks. And that's how they get in the positions they're in or whatever. But believe me, they're just the puppets in the show. They're just like showing, like saying, like they have some power, but it's definitely, if you break down how things have been going, especially with the economy, especially with the wars and stuff, that's the 1% that's not that person making the decisions. Believe me, it's all the rich people that think they know what they're doing, and those are men and women. They're not just men. I do believe that man is being controlled by the machine. Yeah, but exactly. That's what I'm saying. So let men be in the position that really don't have any power. Unfortunately, the machine is both female and male. Oh my gosh, I know, Desi. That's crazy. I don't understand it. You took the words right out of my text. Oh, yeah. When I saw it after, I was like, "What?" But yeah, Desi sent me somebody was wilding out on their live, and they could keep on going, but we can't say certain words or anything. We haven't even said anything wrong this whole live besides balls and D cheese. That's about it, and they blocking shit. Well, hopefully, if you like how are you getting the book or reading the book from him? I started watching a show on Netflix called Beast in Me. No, I don't think I gotta look at that. Check that one out. But Sweetums, if you do read the book or finish the movie and stuff, hopefully that in itself, his work gives you some empowerment because you gotta believe you're stronger than you are. You gotta believe you're as strong as you are, number one, and then you're even stronger than that when it comes to the mind. Because I think if it came to survival mode, you survived all this stuff, um, with your family, being there for your family. I think if you did have to be confronted by something, you would, you know, kick somebody's ass and not even know you did it. This live gets flagged too many times. I know. I really don't understand, but I started. That's why I said I'm embodied enough in enough chats to know that my chat gets the words blocked way too much, held way too much, and so here we go. I'm so bad. Um, a man enters Shihang showing his hairy. Oh yeah, showing his hairy butthole and chipples, but we can't say anything in here. They hit that, Desi, but we can't say anything in here or use emojis. Exactly, it's not right. Uh, I guess because it was a man, maybe? Hmm. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but I still feel weaker. I understand. That's why I said I hope one day you'll be able to see your strength. I don't want that. Starting a second channel, basically, watch. I start a second channel, and that means I'll get you guys viewing my stuff, right? Nobody else will. So the people that do watch it afterwards, like I said, you guys see these numbers, right? The analytic numbers are way bigger than the numbers that you guys see. So if I were to start a new channel over, then all my numbers will be low, and it will probably just really tank. So while my channel's picking up more because I am going on every night, there's more people watching, even if they're not saying anything. There's more people watching after. So me starting over is gonna make like the analytics go way down, I'm sure. So I don't know. I might eventually do that, but it's like I don't want to leave the people. You know, I would have to keep on coming back to this channel and remind people to go over there. How the heck? What was Desi's? Desi just said Sweetums with the heart, and I can't see what the other little thing is. But how is that held? Wait, they got chipples? What, men? Men got chipples? I wish we could report YouTube when they get it wrong. Really? But they'll just say, look how you have been, whatever. They're just ridiculous. Oh, maybe that's what they're doing, Sweetums. Somebody else say Sweetums. See if that's why they've been holding crap. So now we can't call somebody Sweetums? You think they flagged Chipples or Thong? They might have flagged. But what emoji? What's that second emoji? I couldn't see what it was. It was held. So yeah, so Sweetums is just being held. Wow. What the heck? Because Desi just said Sweetums and they held it. Damn, that's crazy. Well, now, but you would be called. Oh, you're saying if somebody says Sweetums now? Sweetums is a thug. So they'll still hold Sweetums though. Because somebody put in Sweetums now. I'm sure that. Let's see if they still hold it. Yeah, they still hold. They still. No, they held Salty Tums. What the hell? What the hell is going on? What the heck is going on? I don't understand what they're doing. I really wish, but you can't unless you. They held Sweetums and Salty Tums. So unless you get higher up in numbers, that's when you could actually talk to YouTube and be like, what the fuck is happening? But people that are low numbers and not partnership and stuff, you can't really talk to anybody. Winter Moon Salty Tums went through, but I guess if you use it together. Oh, yeah, but these are different people saying it. So they're just blocking her. I don't know. All I know is they need to leave my little ass chat alone and go somewhere else to the bigger chats. Because this is ridiculous. Who said ass? I said ass? Or somebody else? What if somebody was just being nice and wanted to call somebody Sweetums or Sweets or something like that? Would you rather us say something more graphic, YouTube? Shit. Oh my gosh, let me plug this in. Let's see. They held that. Sweet, I'm naughty now. Don't have my old but pull a muscle trying to fight for my sweet. Oh, is it? I don't. I know it's supposed to be a storm here too. Winter moon. I don't know if it started snowing yet. I don't. I haven't been able to look out the window because I can't move because of my back. So I don't know if Cherry's still alive. I usually ask her if it's snowing. All right, Gina. But yeah, my back, my rickety old back. I ain't about to go look down at some window to see. Oh no, winter moon, that sucks. I don't think anybody, people that have to travel in the snow and they're used, and it's a lot of snow. I don't hear anybody saying they like the snow because it sucks. Because it takes a while for things to be cleared and all that stuff. I remember working Center City in Philadelphia. That used to be such hell. But at Center City in Philadelphia, a lot of them have the steam still, like the old steam under the sidewalks and stuff. So a lot of it would be melted, but still getting there and all that stuff. So the people would be sleeping downtown under the steam coming up out of the sidewalks. I'm like, oh, it used to be so sad. I could just imagine trying to survive out in the freezing cold winter. Yeah, that's one thing I hate, public transportation. Oh my gosh. Now I'd rather just pay for a damn Uber than step on public transportation. My only perception of the snow is that last part of Christmas movie when the happy ending happens. It was snowing. What? What kind of Christmas movie were you watching? It wasn't a fam. It wasn't a family friendly Christmas movie. I worry I will slip. Yep, that's how I am too. I felt. I felt. I don't think I ever felt like on the snow, but I know with the ice, there was some thick ice, and I had to walk a ways to get to the trolley in Philly, and I fell busting my butt. I don't know snow. My people are tropical, yeah. Like I said, I would love to move somewhere where I didn't have to see snow again. I don't even live there, so I just don't like it, yeah. It's fine when it's a little bit of snow, it's not too bad. But most of the time, especially where I live, it's always big storms and stuff. Do you have grippy winter boots? And grippy winter boots are heavy as hell. So it's not like if you do have them that you're going to be walking comfortably. Those boots are heavy. I'm black as and I landed on my back and lay there like, huh? Yeah, I think I'll stay here for a bit. Yeah, I slipped and fell on my knee first and then my back. I don't know how the heck I did it, but I messed up my knee and my back falling. And then I just had to lay there because it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I also had to call my brother, like, I slipped, you gotta come get me. Oh, heck no. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in no 120-degree weather either. That's why I said I would move somewhere where it doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold, and not snow or hurricanes or anything. What? People just stepped over you? Wow. There was nobody out when I fell. I thought a murderer was going to come get me because nobody was out, but that was about it. Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying about the boots. They're heavy. A hikey, a hike, a hiking cane. Oh, people probably be looking like you're weird or something, but that might work. I ended up when I was working, I ended up having to have like this big old umbrella that had a spiky tip to it. So I brought that even when it wasn't raining, just so I could use it. I didn't even think about the hiking cane thing. I know people would be looking like I wouldn't care. Shoot, I would use that if I had to do it these days. Winter boots were like Uggs. To be hefty and really work so you don't fall, they're way bigger than that. And the bottoms are way thicker because they need way more grip. Yeah, that's wrong. But yeah, I guess it was good that I only fell once in all the years. I'm trying to think that fall. I don't think I fell once little, but yeah, that fall took a lot out of me. Let's see. I had another help. What does he says? Correct. People are crap. They hit that. I have hiking stick like what wizards have when we go to the national parks. Yeah, that's why I said that might be a smart thing. Like I said, people probably look at you like you're weird, but I would do that if I had to travel in the snow. But you will definitely get a look. I would look if I saw somebody like that. I would look at them like, damn, they're smart. But most people aren't going to think like that. I remember one year, my brother brought me the spike things, to go on your under your boots or sneakers that had the spikes. Because he's like, you ain't slipping again. Because I slipped inside the store. He was like, just when winter came, he's like, here's these hiking things. Um, the ones that you could put it on the bottom of your shoes and they have the spikes, and then you can take them off your shoe. But I'm like, hello, when I go into a store, I can't keep on walking on the spiky things, so I would have to take them off in the store and put them back on. How's that going to be possible? So I never did try them out. Yeah, the spiky cleats things. Yeah, he bought me those one year. And I'm like, I can't walk in the store with these on, so, and I can't just like take them off and where am I going to put them and all that stuff. So I didn't end up ever trying them. I see some seniors on board by ocean using the hiking stick. Yeah, like I said, that's smart. That's something I never thought of. That's really smart. Yeah, like there's no way I would walk in the store with some spikes on the bottom of my shoes. That would probably cause me to fall too. What if you try one? Yeah, if she feels okay, she should try it. Like I said, that's smart. That's something I would do. I wouldn't have no shame in that if it was keeping me up. Yeah, I was thinking about you have zero shame walking. And then you have your wizard staff too, Sweetums, so you know you could kick somebody's ass with that, so you gotta get more confidence so you won't be so scared. Because I definitely don't like you feeling like you don't have any power. Yeah, think about look at all that you've been through and stuff that you've gotten through. You supporting people through their transitions in life. The biggest transition in life, you being there. That takes way more strength, and it's not. It doesn't take muscles to kick somebody's ass most of the time. It takes outsmarting them. Yeah, yeah, I understand that, but you have to understand you're not weak. You'll get there. I think even if it's just a little bit, we're gonna make you feel tougher. And try strength training. Yeah, you gotta strength train your mind too. It's not about only your body. I'm telling you, your mind is gonna be way more power than your body sometimes. Did everybody else fall asleep? Where did Gina go? The person that thinks she could win in the battle of the talking. If I didn't let my grandbaby, a baby that I love to death, talk crap to me, you think I would let another? That's funny. Where you go, girl? Oh yeah, she did. Okay, I was like teasing her out, but she did. What was that, like 20 minutes ago? What'd she do? Oh, she probably letting the dog out. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I think she said she did better today. She probably just letting her out. And then if it's a snow first started snowing or something, that's gonna be even harder probably. Um, no, not for New Year's Eve. They don't. Uh, that's what I was thinking. I don't think we like do anything together or whatever. They don't. And my daughter doesn't really do anything either, so it just goes by like a normal day. I try to catch like some fireworks on YouTube or whatever from different countries, but it's been getting harder and harder to find some live fireworks. Um, so the last couple of years I've just been ringing in the New Year's sad as fuck. Um, I might go on here like a little bit earlier to ring in the New Year, but probably everybody else is gonna start doing that. But I still might try so that I go on like at 11:30, so that if nobody's doing anything, they'll be able to at least be on here talking with me, chatting. Might be less lonely. I don't know. You guys could tell me how you feel as we get closer. Shammy hears the snow plows and it keeps waking him all. Oh yeah, I haven't heard snow plows yet, so it must not be that bad yet outside. When it was bad outside one day last week, I heard cars sliding into, sliding, trying to get out of the parking and stuff like that. Um, he misses my brother went through it hysterically. Yeah. Yeah, I know, and I try to keep away from like the news shows and stuff. I just like hearing the fireworks and stuff. But so yeah, I'll just probably be doing nothing. But during New Year's because that's when I brought my mom to the ER, and we never left the hospital after that. Yeah. So if you guys want it to be where you want me to go live, I will go live like a half hour, or hour earlier. Yeah. She goes, you salty. Well, at least it's just salty alone isn't being held. And then when she does, when salty tums is separate, it doesn't get held. But salty tums together gets held when it's just one word. Which why I don't understand. But yeah, I know the whole mine wasn't New Year's Eve when I lost my dad. It was the 6th, on July 6th. So I remember everybody getting prepared for July 4th, and me like trying to see the fireworks from his like ICU window and stuff like that. So I was just like, oh, everybody gets to go out and chill and see the fireworks and stuff, and I'm in here not knowing if he was going to pass or not. And then he passed away on July 6th. And always around that time, I really don't know. I get down for because it was a 3 week thing. Like it was like he was sick. It was a 2 week, I think 2 weeks. So he was sick for a week in the hospital, not knowing what happened. Basically, like he literally bled out 3 times, where they had to hurry in blood and give him blood quickly. And then he had surgery, and then for a week after, um, the surgery, then after the week, that's when I, you know, said enough is enough. So it was 2 weeks of, like they literally let me stay in the ICU as long as I wanted. They didn't because they knew from his anxiety that it helped. So I was allowed in the ICU mostly anytime, no matter what time it was or anything. And when he was aware, I had to stay with him overnight and stuff. So it was really hard. So yeah, I do get triggered around that time, but I don't know. I don't. It doesn't register in my head that that's why I feel that way. Um, so and like I said, it's really weird. It's like you go through the motions, but you don't even know why. Um, maybe YouTube thinks Tums means a body part. Maybe. So July 4th is tricky. Yeah. How long ago? That was in, I believe it was, it's been a while, it's been a minute. It's been like 2013, I think it was. But, then like I said, the most recent has been my sister, which was 2 years ago. But I didn't see her, she was in a different city, so I wasn't able to see her before she passed or anything. But yeah, I definitely know, like I said, but that's why I said I could relate to you with New Year's Eve, because it's a holiday and everybody's worried about going to see the fireworks and stuff like that. I feel like I'm not here. I feel like the darkness is swallowing me, like I won't last. That's dissociation. That's the biggest part of, I think, um, a big part of grieving because it's your body and mind trying to protect you by making you go off somewhere so you won't be in reality. And it does protect you. Um, it's like an automatic thing your system does. But then you have to think about it. It's like you're taking care of an animal that needs you and you need yourself, but you're not going to think about that part. So you tell people, hey, your animal needs you. They need you to feed them and stuff like that and keep them alive. So in turn, that's keeping you alive. But your mind goes somewhere to protect you from feeling the brunt of everything. Uh, that's devastating. We're all suffering from loss like this. Yeah, like there's. Oh, it's just like, yep, that's your mind telling you to protect your. Well, trying to protect itself. Yeah, but just like I said, keep on getting up and going to your appointments and stuff, and you do have, like I said, you're not gonna let your dog down. So just know that hang on to those things until you get past the time where it starts feeling a little tiny bit okay. It's normal to feel broken and not like yourself. The first few days feel impossible, but I promise you'll get through it. Yeah. And I don't think I think it's hard to hear you'll get through it because loss of a person is like so great that you don't want to hear people say that. But coming from people that have lost several people, you gotta know it's something survivable. When you are just exhausted in every way and can't go on. Yes, I feel that way every day. And when I lose somebody, it gets even worse. But that's why I say you can go on even when you don't feel okay. But we all do know that feeling very well. You have to realize you've done it every day since it's happened too, so you're doing it. When you need to rest, go ahead and rest as much as you need. Yeah. The physical pain is so bad from medical, and then the mental pain from loss is tremendous. Yeah. Yep, and combined, it's really bad. But that's why I said I think the hardest thing when you're in the stage of like fresh mourning and stuff, you really don't want to hear you could do it because it's like people saying you could do it. It's like maybe they feel like they're taking away how great you're suffering, but we're not taking away that aspect of it when we say you could do it. I hope you know that. I hope people that are suffering that don't say anything, and just listen, know that you could do it too, and you're doing it. You're breathing right now. You're thinking about if you have other people to take care of or pets to take care of. You're thinking about those things. So those things have to go on. You have to go on. Um, Also, I'm not kind to myself. I'm my own worst enemy. I make things worse for myself. Yeah, self-sabotage is something that comes into play too. Dissociation, self-sabotage. Those are all the things that are part of grieving. And I was talking earlier about how I have to try to believe in myself in so many ways so I could accomplish some things that I need to accomplish. And that is very fucking hard because I don't have a lot of belief in myself, but I keep on trying to convince myself that I'll be there one day. So that's pretty much all we could do is keep on trying to convince ourselves, you know. Because, you know, some things nobody could give us. We have to give it to ourselves. We have to find it. And it is deep down inside somewhere. I'm sure that's a destructive part of yourself. But if you can talk to the part of you and ask it what it needs so that you can eventually nurture yourself, yeah. The main thing right now is eating, you know, if you have appointments, keeping them up and taking care of the dog, you know. So those things just keep them going, you know. Everything else, if you have to rest, and between all that, just make sure you rest, you know. Those things you're still keeping yourself alive, the basic needs that you need as a human, you know. Everything else, if you need to rest, let yourself rest. If allowed to rest. So you're saying you don't really get rest. Yeah, but I don't want to sound cold hearted or whatever, but seeing no emotion from her, that's on her. That, you know, you sort of gotta separate yourself from that because she wasn't the type of person that does seem like she would give emotion anyway. That part, unfortunately, can't be part of your journey because it's toxic. Yeah, those are how people. I'm not shocked. That's why I said that can't be part of your journey. The journey is to separate yourself from her and try to get better for yourself. That's why I said hopefully if you could, once you have a little bit more time, now that this has happened, um, hopefully you could get into some separating, you know, from her. It might be too much now, but just try to keep that in the works. It's like you're gonna do it one day, hopefully. Yeah. I know it takes a lot to get away from that, but you could do that too. You just have to, like I said, try to allow yourself to grieve right now. But keep that in your mind that that's something that you would want to do one day to start feeling better about yourself. Um, I forgot I had my cherry chocolate turtles that I ordered so I wouldn't run out. I think Gina fell asleep. Yeah, we always are here. Wait a minute. Oh, did she say she was going away for Coco? I know I was trying to stay on to see if it was just because of the weather or something. Let me go back. I think all she said was be right back. Yeah, she just said be right back. Let me see how much battery I have left. Was it 38? 37%. Alright. We should be good for a little while. Um, I'm gonna read an overall rune because I was talking about runes earlier. Uh, oh, you must have not been here, Sweetums, when she told us some things. I worry if anything ever happened to me, no one would know. Oh no. So you don't have any like relatives or whatever that you talk to at times? No, but I'm saying there's not. You don't talk to anybody. That's not good. Yeah. Now, if we don't see you for a little while, you'd be like, "Oh, did something happen?" So I don't know. There's sometimes I don't know. Sometimes like with treatment, I don't know if you go to therapy because I know there's some plans that they have it where if you say, "Hey, if I haven't contacted anybody in this certain amount of days, then call me to see if I answer." And then if you don't answer, you would have to agree to like a welfare check or something. I don't know if you're just seeing like, oh, okay, yeah. So I don't know what else would. Okay, yeah. So I don't know what else would be able to be put in place. Dang my throat. You will say something? What do you mean? Oh, do you have somebody to let them know if they don't hear from you in a certain amount of days to check on you? Okay. Yeah, that's what they do. Like they just want it basically it's around what you're comfortable with, like the amount of days that you would feel comfortable with, and then like if they haven't heard you by that certain amount of days, then they're like, okay, they have to try to call you. Obviously, if you don't answer the phone or call them back in a certain amount of reasonable hours, then they have reason to worry. Yeah, because like I said, I lived by myself for a lot of years, and being so ill, I had to have that sort of in place too. Yeah. Okay, so that's good that you could say something. I had to rely on that for 10 years. Now I stay, with my daughter, but still, I worry about, oh, can I get to the phone and do something? It's not like I'm checked in on that often, so it is a scary thing. I know how it feels. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Believe me, like I said, I know all that stuff. I was in therapy for a long time. That's why people are like, "Did you ever take therapy?" I was like, I did until I couldn't get anything out of it. No problem. I'm glad I could help. So I was just gonna say I'm gonna do one room for the overall feeling of everything. Um, and then by that time, if Gina doesn't happen, I don't know what to say. I was trying to wait for her. I'm gonna push mute so I can grab these rooms. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, I'm back. So I'm just gonna do one tonight because I know I gotta hop off here before my phone dies. But I'm doing it in a way where I feel like it's an overall read. Just so it's just not specifically like, oh, towards me or something. I feel like it's just overall. And if nobody wants like the energy to reach them with the reading, then just don't be part of it. I don't want people to be like, oh, I don't want to be part of this. I'm not saying everybody's a part of it. I'm saying that the energy that wants to be felt and be part of it, I feel like I'll feel. If you understand what I mean, I don't know what it's hard to explain. So anybody that gives me permission to feel their energy right now, ceiling energy, I'll be picking up on and working through this room. Yeah, and I always ask. That's what I was about to say. I always say that while I'm shaking these, so it could be ASMR too. But I always say that if anything were to come in, it's only allowed to stay while I'm talking. It's not allowed. And anything, I don't mean by an entity or something like that. I'm just saying in general. Um, it's not allowed to stay once I close this book. Once I close out this session, everything must go. We are guarded by white light. Um, so there's nothing to fear. I say a lot of it in my head too. So here we go. Also, we want to learn off a new rune, please. Not ones we have already heard. I know I sound annoyed, but I would like to see another one. Oh my gosh, I swear we get this. Oh, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick. Let me see what this one is. I feel like. Yeah, no, this one's fertility. We always get this one. We understand fertility, please. I'm keeping that one out. I'm going to pick until I feel like. I understand why we got that one, fertility, but. Stand still. So this stand still's exactly what it's called, stand still, but I'll read it. Because I think this takes yeah, Rainbow got the fertility one. So we know what that is. I know what it is anyway. It's been coming up in almost all my readings. But stand still is a good one too. It's a frustrating one, like I talk about other ones like the warrior and stuff. Stand still is something that basically tells you there's nothing more you could do in your situation but sort of be at peace with it in a way. But I'm going to read it. But it really just means what it says, stand still. Um, so this one I used to get frustrated too when I got it a lot because I wanted to know that something good was going to happen and I wanted movement, and stand still grounded me so much. Even though it made me mad. A lot of the things that make me mad are the things that literally help me survive being this ill. 120. No, it's not 120. What does that say? 129? That's how blind I am. 129. It then still doesn't have any reverse to it. It's just a straight line that goes down. Okay. Stand still. It says, um, the winter of the spiritual life is upon you. You may find yourself entangled in a. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I know this thing goes out. I'll start reading. Start it from the beginning. Just make sure you guys can hear the audio's good. Sometimes the energy be messing with it. If somebody tells me the audio's good, I'll go start again. I don't want to call it eerie, but that's where you got that little laugh from me. That's why I laughed a little bit. Yeah. So the audio's good then. Yeah. As I say, I ask for certain things, and when I get them, I don't share them with you guys. 'Cause I'm like, I wonder if you guys caught that, you know. But see, Sweetums, you got something with you too. Um. All right, I'll start again. It says, the winter of a spiritual life is upon you. You may find yourself entangled in a situation to whose implications you are, in effect, blind. You may be powerless to do anything except submit, surrender, even sacrifice some long cherished desire. Be patient, for this is a period of gestation that precedes a rebirth. Positive accomplishments is unlikely now. There is a freeze on useful activity. All your plans are on hold. You may be experiencing an unaccustomed drain on your energy and wonder why. A chill wind is reaching you over the ice floes of old, outmoded habits. Trying to hold on can result in shallowness of feeling, a sense of being out of touch with life. Seek to discover what is it in you. Seek to discover what it is you are holding on to that keeps this condition in effect, and let go. Shed, release, cleanse away the old. That will bring on the thaw. Usually, it requires a sacrifice of a personal. The I, that's the symbol. So personal, it sacrifice a personal thing to yourself, basically. And yet there is no reason for anxiety. Submit and be still, for what you are experiencing is not necessarily the result of your actions or habit, but of the condition. Gotta flip the page. But of the condition of the time against you, you can do nothing. What has been full must be empty. What has increased must decrease. This is a way of heaven and earth. To surrender is to display courage and wisdom. At this time, do not hope to rely on help or friendly support. In your isolation, exercise caution and do not stubbornly persist in attempting to work your will. Remain mindful that the seed of a new is present in the shell of an old, the seed of unrealized potential, the seed of good. Trust your own process and watch for signs of spring. If that wasn't the room spot fucking on, I don't know what other room we could have had up in here. That's what I'm saying. The hardest part, one of the hardest parts I had to, you just missed room time. One of the, but for me that is a continuation of my other rooms, and that's what it always is. These always follow each other, and but that's the biggest thing I was trying to tell you guys is that you can't really move further in body, mind, or soul if you don't face what's there already. And it's not going to feel great. You're going to feel you're emptying yourself to gain something. So it's just at a standstill. That's where the standstill room comes in. So this spoke on all the shit I was just talking about. It just like put it all in one one story to tell, you know. Um, I don't know, Winter, if you got any of that, like if you felt any of that, but it was pretty much saying that, you know, it's like gonna be a lonely, alone time, you know, in the like what we told you to do with the staff of where you're going, stuff like that. Just to stay safe, you know, that would be a good thing. But this time is gonna be hard. And Sweeter said this is grim. It's just for I'm telling you, the things that I had to face through this book alone, just from doing this. I was by myself. I didn't have nobody to talk to. I was in a horrible, horrible area of the city. I'm telling you, out of a week, I would say 4 or 5 times somebody was coming to my door, either just trying to kick it down or trying to talk it open. You know, when I was, like I said, not able to move, I just so much stuff was happening. And I didn't have no one to talk to. Like sister at the time had her own stuff, so she wasn't even talking to me. And all I had was this book and my thoughts for a long, long time. And it got me through because it's like I got mad at it. I hated it. I'm like, oh, forget you, you know, and just listening to the knowledge in it got me by. That's the thing you said when we're gonna get happy rooms. You'll eventually know. Well, there are some runes that talk about like fertility talks about like there's going to be new rebirth, new birth and stuff like that. But for myself personally, I've never gotten something so far that says it says I still got to work on myself, you know. Um but my daughter always gets good runes when I read them for her. So I ask that same question. That's why we get mad all the time. But it still teaches you stuff to work on. Uh, Sometimes I just despair smash a bag of smart popcorn. Why did I toss away fertility? Because I read fertility like I understand fertility and I read on it so many times because since I've been doing runes on the channel, this pops up so much and I'm like, oh gosh. But if you want me to read over it again, I can. But my daughter always gets this. I think this is the one she got tattooed on her because every time she gets this rune, she moves into somewhere. She upgrades in her life every time she gets this rune. Um, but look, we got fertility, then we got standstill right after. And standstill is telling you no matter if you're gonna progress to something else, you still can't do nothing about it. So basically, there's nothing you can't push the whenever it's gonna happen. Maybe we need to sow wild oats. Yeah, that's what it's pretty much saying. That there's so much inner work to be done, you know, before you can get to the good stuff. Because if you don't do the inner work, when the good stuff comes, you won't even be able to recognize what the good stuff is. Because believe me, unfortunately, the good stuff is not going to feel. It's going to be more on a spiritual level. It's going to feel more like a comfort of the heart. It's going to feel more of the comfort of the mind. It's not going to come with the comfort of our pockets being full. You know, that's not how this works. Even though I wish it did. But this is more of a spiritual journey. And regardless of that, I think that's what makes people last in life longer if they're better spiritually. Did you want me to read fertility over, Sweetums, or no? It just seems like these rooms are like you're in the hole and you're gonna stay there. You guys, I understand that. That's what I'm saying. That's why when I before I start reading it, I tell you the frustration I had with this. And I don't know. I just needed something else to tell me that I didn't have to rip my. For me, it was this when I started reading these. I was going out every day, and not every day, but a lot of times, and ripping my cartilage of my knees and all this stuff just to get answers that I wasn't going to get. And if I would have kept on being that way and not resting the way I need to be, I would have really been totally bedridden, like not being able to get out of it at all. If I would have kept on just letting my body tear apart and I was walking on a torn meniscus without operation and all this stuff and kept on going out and feeling everything tearing apart. I'm telling you, I literally felt cartilage just ripping apart. That's how bad everything was with me. And then I got this, and I'm like, okay, it's telling me not to do shit, but I want to do shit. But if I don't, it was telling me not to shit. I gotta be settled into not doing shit. That's unfortunately it. You can't do when you mourn. You can't speed up the process. You know what I mean. There's so much stuff you can't speed up the process, and you literally gotta sit in it. And that's what this is showing. I'm sure we'll get to some. I'm hoping there's some that, like I said, when I read from my daughter, it's always something saying she's going to accomplish what she's doing. Do you ever feel like that? Of I cannot go on, and that's my everyday. That's what you don't understand. I think you guys don't understand about me is that's my original everyday thought. Is that that's why I say I find these things to try to tell me, hey, to contradict that. You know what I mean? But that's my everyday thought all day, every day. That's why I show up here. That's why my channel's called Mental Makeup. Because I have those thoughts every day. There's not one day that I have gone by where I have not had that thought in my lifetime. Even when I was younger, is all my thoughts from when you could remember your process think just your thoughts of when you're little. I always thought that, period. I've always tried to do stuff, and then it was like finding these things. That's why I said I hope that it reaches somebody, and even if it give them another day at something. But I did have all these things where it's like, when am I gonna get a good rune or whatever? But it's like maybe these are, and we're just not. They are. I feel a little better about myself because I've started this. Doesn't mean it's gonna be some tremendous life change and everything's gonna change for you, but I think it lifts some things. You'll see if you stick with it. It won't seem like all doom. But it's funny to hear other people say it because I was exactly like that at the beginning. That's why I laugh at it because I really was. I'm like, forget this book, forget these runes. These runes, good thing there's crystals. Like the only reason why I'm keeping them is crystals. But then I'm like, no. Well, then it's like I don't know. I get too much feeling from them now and stuff. So even if people didn't like hearing them, I would still do them. Um, I just bought a huge bag of that today. Oh, what the? I think what I'm fighting is accepting the present reality. Yeah. What are we talking about here? The smart popcorn? Um, that's what it is. You're people fight a lot of. That's what it says basically. Sit across this table and with yourself and have a conversation. It's like you want to be in denial, and the rooms are like, "Yep, nope, you are in shit now." Well, that's what I'm. That's what I'm saying. If people only get the, "You're gonna be all right," they're not gonna be all right. It's like you got to get the shit too. I was watching a video of yours from a year ago. It was you and Cherry, and you wanted, well, all you wanted was a small group to talk to while we're here. What was it? Me and Cherry? What with the Harry Potter thing? Harry Potter jelly beans or whatever. I forgot what they were called. I didn't know I talked about it there. I haven't watched that video in a million years. Is that the one you're talking about, Gina? Because she was only in one video with me. I was trying makeup on. What? Why don't I remember that? And you found your AOC, Gina, Adult Orphan Club, yeah. I was trying on makeup. Maybe she was on the video. Yeah, the birdie bots. Those things were nasty tasting, and they also jacked up my stomach. So, when I did the what are they called? Bean Boozle ones. I made sure not to swallow them because I was about to have that stuff on my stomach. Yeah, I did the Birdie Bees and the Bean Boozle. Those things are nasty. Really, if you want to taste what they say they are, you taste those. And vomit's like one of the worst ones. Tastes just like vomit. Why don't I remember that one? But yeah, that's all I've ever said. I said I don't want anything big because I think I would have anxiety over a huge, not a huge amount of people. Like I'm, oh no, I put my runes in the wrong bag. How did this bag even get out here? I do not understand. But I always said I wanted it small because I have anxiety. I can't, if I'm answering to a whole bunch of people, it's not gonna work. How did that room? I mixed my rooms, guys. I gotta get them out. I don't understand how that bag got out here, though. I'm sorry, bag. I'm not reading you tonight. My battery's about to die. Well, I'll figure it out later. Um, I saw the bean challenge. Yeah. So the video I was talking about was just you. Oh, just in the chat. Okay. I thought you meant. Okay. I was like, what the heck? I know she wasn't in no other video. Maybe you by maybe by you saying you need a small chat. No, that's not true. YouTube's hating. YouTube is hating. There's no manifesting nothing. Because a small thing, like I always said, is something. Um, that's the zipper to this thing. But no. Small is like having around, for me, probably like 5,000 subscribers or something. That's small. Because I'm not asking like to be monetized or something. But even though they're saying now, they're like, you're doing good. Your numbers are this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I know they want me to apply soon, but I'm not going to. 5,000 is a big channel? I don't think 5,000 is a big channel. I just think it's where I'll start getting like comments under my videos to communicate. Because right now I get no comments under my videos besides like a few people here and there coming in to say they watch the videos, but there's more of an interaction between me talking than just me chatting and having a few people on here. So it will just be more of a flow with the chat. So I have some different questions and stuff and suggestions, and then like I said, chatting in between the videos. I'll have more topics to think about and stuff like that. But that's not. I don't think 5,000 is big. I think for me, a big channel is like, yeah, over like 100,000 or something. Other than that, I don't really consider it a big channel. Shammy said he's gonna start leaving comments. We just barely scraped the barrel with the stuff guy too. Yeah. No, no, I know there's things. I'm just saying for it. That's just would be more my goal is having a little bit more people, but just not too many. If you want to discuss further, the only thing, like I said, I gotta watch it again if I feel I'm gonna watch it again before. But the only thing that I really thought I took away from that was the whole dark side. You really have to meet your dark side, and that's the first thing that presents itself in any situation, is that, like, for everybody. So I think people that think they have it all cool and everything, they really have to realize, no, you got a dark side that you're facing too, stuff like that. And then how, um, well, you have to watch it to the end to see what I'm talking about, the other part. You'll know more at the end what I'm talking about, I think. Um, Gina tell Coco to leave comments too. Stutz, I'm lost as always. Yeah, the movie, I was telling Sweetums to watch that on Netflix because, um, there's a guy that's a therapist that he's a therapist with Parkinson's disease, and just his way of therapy, I wish every therapist was. You know, they aren't. They don't go in depth. They don't break things down like he does. Most therapists just tell you, hey, this is what you have for your. The doctor will diagnose you with all this stuff, and then they might go through a list of coping skills or whatever. But they don't really tell you how to navigate real life and stuff. So this guy gives you more tools. So I had her watch that. I think she watched half of it. So that's what it is. So it's just a movie with the therapist that's called Stutz or whatever, however you pronounce it, and then Jonah Hill, because it's Jonah Hill's therapist. But I was saying, even if you don't like Jonah Hill, like I don't like Jonah Hill, his aspect to it, you don't even have to really listen to that part. Just listen to what the therapist says, and he gives you way more than the Jonah Hill even being in it. He has a set of tools for dealing with more than depression. I think dealing with anything in life, period. If you break things down the way he did, I think it's going to help with a lot of stuff. With I refuse respectfully. Oh, Coco refused. Okay. All right, Coco. I'm not about to ask about you no more. Then respectfully. Yeah, but there are very little when therapists talk. Most of the time, I'm like, oh, that's bullshit, bullshit. But he was the only one so far where I'm like, damn, he needs to be teaching every other therapist. My bean has a mind of her own. Coco salty. But yeah, you guys, we're at our 3 hour mark, not 3 minutes, 3 hours. So I'm about to hop off here and get ready for bed. Remember, he was asking about Jonah Hill's. No, I don't remember that part because I don't like Jonah Hill. I don't know if I'm sure there's a part that helps in there, but that's why I said I want to go rewatch it because I know there were a lot of parts that I liked. And I know he made sense. You know, there was nothing that he said that I wasn't like, yeah, whatever. And I gotta try to pretend like I'm going to bed, Gina. You know, I do pretend for a good hour after I get off here, like I'm going to bed. Um, oh, dang. Yeah. But yeah, I just think it's more the aspect of how the therapist, what he teaches, not who he's teaching it to. That's the part I think a lot of people, because it will help you with anger, just everything. If you do have relationships, you know, even just a relationship with yourself. I think that's a big thing the runes teach too. Is basically saying you got you, yourself, and you. Oh, yeah. So, Winter Moon, if you're still in here, you know, try to make it back sometime. Just to at least tell us that you're still hanging in there and stuff. Or if you need to talk or whatever, you know we're here. Um, it will be tolerable soon. I guess I could say, because I don't want to say it will be okay, because you guys know it takes a minute to really feel okay, but it will. Some things will seem tolerable. I'll use that word, and then slowly, it eventually starts feeling a little less heavy, and you'll be able to do your day to day better. So, yeah. So for now, I'm gonna say goodnight and hope you guys get some. Well, you girlies, not you guys, because obviously, guys do not rule the world and don't be intimidated by them. So I know I'll use you guys all the time because I say that, but you girlies, get some sleep. Now, see you. I'll say this: even the worst days, there are always the tiny ray of sunshine. Yeah, and then you have to sort of find that because that's a needle in a haystack. But always try to find it in each day. And even that, like I said, even that you went out, Sweetums, and got your chocolate and your hoodies and stuff, that's huge. You know, gotta give you your props for that. And that Gina got her cranberry muffin and stuff, like those things are huge, even though they don't seem like they are. They are. And Winter Moon, that you're showing up here and you're, just chatting, even if it's for a little while, that's huge. So don't take the little things just to be like nothing. Those are huge steps. Oh, yeah, you told me. So she'll be in our prayers too, that, when she delivers it safe and everything. All right, you guys, try to have a good night.